What's up, everybody? It is your boy, the Don Sean, and this is
Brother St. Polo at
and
your
we
service.
are here with Robyn and Charlette Renegade, the Renegade twins. How you doing, ladies?
What's up, guys?
We're good. How are you guys?
doing?
We're doing
I'm
well.
doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
Don Sean, you got to put some respect on their name. You feel me? Because
Yeah, brother, do it for me. Do it for me.
They have been moving and grooving through the indies, and not only are they the first ever Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, they are the first ever Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Yes,
So,
the first ever ladies tag team champs. How y'all feeling?
We're
Right.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel on top of the world right now.
Yeah.
You know, double champs, actually.
Triple champs.
yeah, nah.
Ooh, triple champs. Talk about that, ladies.
Y'all want to explain the Triple Champs, ladies? Explain the Triple Champs.
So this past week, we had a match with a couple of our training partners at a small
I was gonna
show.
say, let's plug the show. Let's plug
Yes,
them.
it's called PCW Platinum Championship Wrestling.
And we wrestled Rock and Shock. So their names are Caleb Kennedy and Casey Rocker. You should look them up. They're pretty dope.
Yes. But we had this match with them, and it was winner take all. Of course, we have all women's promotion belts, but that didn't matter to them. They're like, we can put on wigs, it'll be fine. But we're throwing our belt up too, which happened to be a plastic Party City belt.
No way.
And we won. Of course, we won. But I didn't want those belts.
No, we
they
didn't
were
want the
plastic with Sharpie, and I'm good.
Right. We threw them right back in their face. But technically, we are triple champs.
Yes.
Triple champs. Wow, what are we gonna say? We definitely can't steal Henry Cejudo's thing, Triple C, because that will get us sued probably. But wow, so how are we gonna define that, ladies? What do we call that?
Well, I don't know.
That's a good one to think about.
That's really hard to think about. We're gonna have to
I
think
don't know.
about
They're
that.
twins with
That's it.
triplet championships. I don't know. They're twins
The
with
triple
triplet.
twins.
The
triple
triple
twins. I don't know.
The triplet champions. I don't
That's
know.
it,
man.
triple champ,
TTs, you know what I'm saying? TTs.
Yeah,
Triple champ.
TTCs. Champs in the building, you know.
Awesome.
So,
So,
ladies,
we know you ladies are very busy ladies, and we don't want to take up too much of your time. So let's kind of cut it out and let's get straight to it. What got you guys into wrestling?
Well, wrestling, to be honest.
Yes. Before Robyn explains her part, I will say we watched wrestling as children for a very short period of time in our lives. It took one time dropping an elbow off the top bunk while Robyn held our little brother still for us to not watch wrestling anymore for a very, very, very long time.
Oh, look at the cat. Hello.
Cat.
my tiger.
Oh, is it a boy or girl?
It's a boy.
He is huge.
I was gonna say he's humongous. Why is he so big?
He's 10 years old, but we feed him definitely heavy.
Hey, happy cat. A fat cat is a happy cat.
Amen. Happy cat, happy life.
Thanksgiving just passed. You know that cat ate good.
Yes.
In my house, absolutely.
But so we started watching wrestling, I would say 16, 17, 2016, 17.
Yes.
Well, I did. I started watching wrestling around 16, 17, 2016, 17. I was probably 16, 17 years old. But I started watching wrestling, and what really kind of caught my attention, I hate telling people this because it really makes me sound really bad. But I'll be honest. Roman Reigns, we were just scanning through everything. Yeah,
They both sit back like, oh, I know where this is going.
Man.
Yep.
Here we go.
Just scanning through something one night, and he popped off across my screen, and I told my dad to go back because I wanted to watch. And so we went back and we finished the entire Raw episode, and ever since then it kind of just has been a thing for us. It started off as pretty man, and then ended into for Robyn. For me,
Wow.
one day I was at home, and I don't know if Robyn was on a date or what she was doing, but it was just me and Dad. And he looks at me, and because Robyn wasn't there, he was like, "You want to watch this with me?" And I was like, "Wrestling, dude? Really? Like, that's fake." And I did what everybody who does not watch wrestling, I did that. I was that person that night. He's like, "It's 3 hours." I was like, "How long is it?" He goes, "It's 3 hours." I was like,
3
hours.
hours.
Oh, we ain't got time for 3
I
hours.
was like, I ain't got time for that. I don't want to watch 3 hours of wrestling. I don't even know who any of these people are. I don't know anything about it. He was like, "It's okay, just watch. It'll go by so fast." So I sit down. We start watching SummerSlam 2018. Man, if I didn't sit there and that 3 hours go by so quick. And then Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy came on the TV, and Randy Orton put that screwdriver right in Jeff's ear and twisted, and that was it. I was hooked. I was oh my gosh, that cage match, man, was chef's kiss for me. That was the exact moment. Like, I can tell you the exact moment that I was like, I'm gonna do this one day. I'm all here for wrestling.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. We were watching, I think it was 2018, maybe 2019 WrestleMania. I can't remember which one, but it was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and that match was crazy. First off, the like backstory behind it is wild. So like being a worker now, knowing the backstory, I have so much more respect for that match. A lot of people don't like that match, but it was one of my favorites because I remember watching it and Roman Reigns just got busted open, and it was like, shoot, he just got busted open. And it was just this crazy thing of him like bleeding, and he continued like the next 20-30 minutes of just getting his butt whooped. Like, it was crazy, and I loved it, and it just made me and Charlotte both want to just wrestle. Yep.
That's awesome. So it took the screwdriver in the ear for her. She was just ready. Like, that's it. It's a horror.
I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
And
I have to ask
Roman
Charlotte,
Reigns.
Yes.
do you like imagine? Do you ladies ever imagine doing that to any one of your opponents? Like, just putting a screwdriver in somebody's ear, and just in terms of a Extreme Rules concept.
I feel like if that is definitely something I would personally want to use. I love Randy Orton. Like, my favorite male wrestler right now, current male wrestler, is Randy Orton. And for that exact reason, I just love him. I think he's sneaky. I don't know. I just love him as a worker, you know? I just love his gimmick. I love all that.
He's legendary.
So
He
I
is legendary.
would personally do it if I ever had the opportunity. Sorry, my phone. If I ever had the opportunity, like, to have a like no holds bar, like, could do whatever I wanted to, definitely that's something I would do. But not many girls have gauges, so like, if you really think about it, I'd have to find the exact right opponent.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a once in a career opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
That's actually absolutely factual. There are very few girls in the industry with gauges in. Like, what, Rhea Ripley, off the top of my head, I know, but otherwise, like,
Hey, but even
I
she
even think
doesn't
Ruby
have
Soho
like.
has.
yeah,
Like,
Ruby
yes.
Soho.
Even those women don't even have like big gauges. They have teeny tiny little gauges.
Right.
Not big enough to
Rhea
stick
Ripley? Rhea Ripley has some pretty big ones, I feel like. You think those are
I
teeny?
feel like hers are about the size of a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That's big enough to put something through.
Yeah, you could.
yeah, you're right. You're
That's
right.
big enough to put something through for sure.
Digressing away from screwdrivers. But in all seriousness, ladies, like, you ladies have really torn up the indie scene, and congratulations once more on coming Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Thank you.
In regards to that, like, just working with under someone like Thunder Rosa, what have you learned from your tenure in Mission Pro Wrestling?
So much.
Right.
So much.
Really, truly, I feel like the biggest thing that we've learned is, you know, as much as like us as workers don't talk about what happens backstage is a big part of our job.
Yeah.
So like, I would say that the biggest thing that I've learned personally from being around Thunder and knowing and seeing how she reacts and the business she she puts out there and the way she presents herself is you always have to be on. Always be on. Always act like there's someone extremely important watching you. Always think that there's somebody there that could possibly give you a contract or possibly let you live your dream. So always be on. Never, always be nice. Always be respectful. And even if you don't mess with somebody that might be backstage, always be cordial. And then when you go in the ring, be professional and go out there and try your best. And it's always, I feel like Thunder's biggest deal is, of course, women, but past that, it's showing that women can do this. And the only way that we can show that we can do this is by not messing up at all and not showing that, like, hey,
it's okay to mess up.
Yes.
Just don't show that you did.
Right. Pretty much.
And for me, what I've learned is that no matter where you get in this industry, and I don't think it's just a Thunder Rosa thing. I think it's the other vets that we have the privilege of working with at Mission Pro in the locker room. we have Holodead, we have Genocide, we have Jazz. We've had so many women come in, like La Rosa Negra. We've had so many women come into our lives, and they, as good as they are, they never stop grinding. They always know, like they know there's always something they can do a little bit better. You're never 100% that there's always something to work on, even when you don't feel like there is. There's always a way to get better. And
even when you're Thunder Rosa signed to AEW, making
Yep.
so much money and probably the most over women that they have on their roster,
Absolutely.
you always have a reason to
Absolutely.
get better.
I
yeah,
will find no argument from Sean over here. That
Of course not.
Absolutely. The woman who held the NWA's title,
Yes, she did.
AEW, and is sat without a belt around her waist because she's a goddamn trooper.
She
The
is.
most over. And this
She
guy,
is.
for sure.
She's so over. Hey, look, we feel the same way.
yeah.
Hey,
I'm all for
You'll get no
Thunder Rosa. I
you'll
feel
get no pushback from me.
underused and underappreciated, you know?
I don't think she's underused. She's used a lot.
No,
but-
she
No,
is.
she absolutely is.
Yeah.
Obviously you guys would probably know way better than me, but like I remember when she got signed, there was like reports that she was going to be helping their women's division because of her experience and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously now that she's doing her own thing with this Mission Pro Wrestling thing, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. That lady is when she took the NWA title, I was so happy. I was
me
so
too.
happy. I lost my shit. I really did, because you could see that, like, it was great for the NWA, you know, at the time, because they had her and they gave her that honor, and it's like the prestige just with the name NWA, you know. I felt like somebody of her caliber deserved that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but I also feel like Thunder brought so much to that title, so much to that title.
Absolutely.
Not that the title didn't mean anything before, but like now when you think of NWA Women's Champion, you think Thunder Rosa, and you think Badass Woman, and you think hardcore, and
Ruthless, aggressive.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel like she's brought so much to that title that now whoever it's Camille, Camille has it now.
Yeah, it's still
Camille has a big shoe to fill.
She definitely still does.
Yes,
She
she does.
But I feel like Thunder Rosa, not only like with the title, but also other women, like women's, like their locker rooms. You know what I mean? Like she helps the product. That's how I feel about it.
Just being there. I was gonna say we were at WrestleCade this past weekend, and she didn't. That's not her promotion. She doesn't run anything, but her just being there made the back room so much lighter and like feel good. And maybe that's just because we know her personally, but I also don't feel like that's the case. I feel like everybody feels that way about her when they meet her. That she's just so bubbly and happy, and she just makes everything so much better. It's just she's an amazing person to have.
We could not speak any more highly of Thunder
right
at all. I could take the next 40 minutes to talk just about Thunder.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah,
But
that's
I love
awesome.
that.
That's just amazing. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that she is indeed the person that, you know, a fan such as myself would believe her to be. So that's awesome. That's very awesome. My brother, I know you got a follow-up question for that Mission Pro tag team. So hit him with it.
Oh man, I mean, I feel like in terms of that and in terms of like your style, you mentioned Thunder Rosa and her aggressiveness and her ruthlessness. When I watch y'all ladies and I saw y'all how y'all won those tag team matches, where do you ladies get your influences from? How do you ladies what do you ladies try to do or emulate your tag team style from?
Wow, that's really kind of hard because I feel like at least me personally, I don't try to mimic anybody. I mean, I will say my very favorite female wrestler of all time is Sasha Banks. So a lot of the moves that I use are from her moveset, but I feel like the way that I wrestle and how aggressive I am isn't necessarily from anybody. I mean, the only person that I've ever seen really kind of match our aggressiveness is Thunder.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't when we first started watching wrestling, we had no idea what the indies were.
Yeah.
So I feel like me personally, I was very feisty as a kid. I like to get in fights, and I feel like that's where it kind of comes from. Our coach always told us, QT Marshall, he always told us that always try to, it's simulated combat. Yes, it's fake, but it's not, you know, so
it's fake to an extent.
So like treat it like it's real.
Right.
So me personally, I try really hard to treat it like it's real.
Yeah.
I could personally say I love the little Joker thing you guys do, and you're always like telling the girl like you dig and you tell them
Like,
to smile.
Oh yeah.
I love
that was something that we actually pulled from Hulk Hogan.
Whoa.
Watching some of his old stuff. and you put them in the camel clutch, and you grab their face, and you just and Robyn fell in love with that. Robyn was like, I don't see anybody doing that.
I was gonna say, I think I've only ever seen him do it maybe once or twice in his matches.
If we had to emulate a style of wrestling, like new or old school, it's more old school than it is new school for sure. Your cat just wants to be in the camera, man.
I know. I'm probably just gonna hold him for the duration of the
Hey, I get it. But yeah, we work more old school than we do new school. Not that we can't work like our high spots and do the stuff off the top ropes, but that's not really us. It's more just being a cohesive team and coming out and letting people know, hey, we are not two women to be messed with. If I have to pick someone, I can pick 3 women that I want to match together and like emulate that. Becky Lynch with her confidence. I love Charlotte Flair and her confidence and just the way she works.
She's a technical wrestler. She's a technical beast.
Yes. And then you have Rhea Ripley, who her look, like, I one day designed a set of gear. I was so excited about this gear. I made a set of gear, realized, I was like, that looks real familiar. I showed it to Robyn. I showed it to my dad. I showed it to my mom. They all looked at me and they go, Rhea Ripley wears that.
Like that exact design.
Like that almost that design. And I had pulled it straight out of my head. And I was like, what? But then I ended up getting a set of gear made that was her Mae Young gear. Like I took her pants and I was like, I'm stealing your pants, Rhea. Like I'll change the top, but I like the pants, so I'm stealing them. But it ended up not working out. And so hopefully one day I will have a set of gear that's similar to Rhea Ripley's gear. But as of now, no.
That's awesome. I mean, her look has changed so much too from NXT like UK to now as well. So I mean, who knows what she's gonna bust out next, and maybe that's it. Then you'll be the only one looking like she.
Hey, true. I don't have the short blonde
looks changed. The business
or the muscles.
She dyed it lately. Yeah, it's black now. Yeah, her hair's.
I could have sworn. Is it black now?
I could have sworn no. It's
I
like
think
blonde.
so.
With, like,
It's still like blonde with some like black streaks in it.
I was
There
gonna
you
say,
go.
I know that like she just dyed it recently. It just changed. I remember thinking, oh wow, you look good. Like you look real different.
That's awesome. So I know he asked you guys about being the first ever Mission Pro Tag Champs, but what's it like? Like you ladies don't just hold the one title. You guys are the first ever for Capital Championship
It's
Wrestling.
nothing like the first.
This is insane, you know. Like you guys are carrying the first for two different companies. What's that feel like?
Right.
For me personally, and I know we talked about this before, when we got those belts, Robyn and I had never touched a belt. We had one little belt here at the Nightmare Factory when we first started that we called the baby belt because it was so small. And
It was a belt that when the school first started, QT used to run. I think it was only one. It was a special needs kid, and he asked for a wrestling birthday party at the facility. So QT did the whole deal, bought a belt, did a whole thing for it. so
it was
the little
this
baby belt
tiny
was
belt. It was little, but that was the only one that we had ever held, and we held that 2.5, almost 3 years ago at this point. And so when we got these new belts, the first one, I didn't know how to hold it. I didn't know how to hold one, let alone two. I know Robyn knew more. She was like, have you never watched wrestling? Like, do you not know how to hold your belt? And I was like, obviously not. Please teach me. So she's teaching me how to hold the belt. Then we're both trying to figure out, hey, what are we doing for entrances? How am I going to hold these? I remember the first time Robyn and I go to hit the corners at Mission Pro. It was the worst thing ever. I'm like,
slipped.
I couldn't get up. Yeah, we were struggling with these belts. We're trying to hold them and get up there at the same time. It's not working. I realized I was like, I'm going to have to lay this down on the top turnbuckle and try to get up here unless I'm wearing it. And then, like, I know everybody, like, WWE, they're all like, wow, they got the Velcro. As a champ, I want that Velcro.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that. I really hated it until we got our first belts with buttons on them. And then I was like, can we please get rid of the buttons and give me some Velcro?
Yeah, I was like, you just
Really?
the Velcro
So
on
stiff.
It's
Really?
So stiff, isn't it? You get like caught.
It's so hard to button them. And then like Charlotte and I put them on as the last thing that we do. Because it's just so hard, especially when you have brand new ones that like have never been worn and never
they're not
broken
in.
You're trying for 5 minutes to like button
Click,
these
click, click,
things,
click.
and it's just not working. It's so hard.
And you think you get it clicked, but it falls off, and you're like,
I remember the first time we went out with both belts. Charlotte put it on my put the Mission Pro around my waist, and been like getting in the ring, stepping through the ropes. It popped off, and I was like, I don't know.
Oh, why?
It popped off, and I didn't know what
Just
to
like
do. And I was like,
mid-entrance, it's just like
Pick it up.
yeah, we'll just have to figure that out. But I mean,
judgment call.
outside of like just the struggle of trying to like wear the
them.
belts, I feel like
it's an honor.
it's crazy how much like things have changed. The way people look at us have changed. The expectation of our matches and the quality that we give, and even like our backstage presence, it's changed. Our expectations are way higher, and it's a lot of pressure, kind of.
Yeah, I don't think we fully understand how much responsibility we now hold. We know it's a lot, but I don't think we're going to understand for a very long time just how important being inaugural champions of 2 different shows is. Like, yes, we are aware it's a huge thing, and it's an honor.
I'm sure you are. I mean, it's the Thunder Rosa. I mean, other people just saying, hey, like, we believe in you guys enough to be the first. Not even like, especially like you said, there are some veterans, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are some veterans backstage with a lot of those things that they could have just been like, hey, you know, you guys pair up and hold this down for a bit. So that's awesome for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's an honor, to be honest. It's
really is.
wild. It's an honor. It's stressful. It's
There's a lot of
amazing.
All of the emotions.
Yeah.
It makes you feel all the emotions. But I do remember when we won them, like thinking when we won our Mission Pro belts, we bawled. Like we were crying. And I never understood like watching people win their belts and then watching them cry. I never understood because as a fan of wrestling, and a lot of people think this, a lot of fans think it. They're like, it's a fake title. You didn't really win anything. All of wrestling's fake.
Backstage, right?
Listen,
But
I'm not
backstage, that means something.
no,
It means
backstage,
someone said, hey,
right.
I think you're good enough to put my titles on, and you're the face of my company now. And
Right.
especially with especially CCW, like we are the first tag team champions, but we are the first crown champions in that building as the women on that
they
show.
haven't even completed their
Nope.
their women's championship tournament yet.
No.
And so it means so much, and it holds such a heavy weight.
Oh yeah, it was super emotional. Our Mission Pro titles. It was there was a lot going into it. That night we had also wrestled a battle royal, and then we had some things going on in the next match after that.
Yep.
So like we had wrestled basically 3 matches that night, and when it all came said and done, we sat down, especially in the ring, like in the middle of the ring when it all was said and done. It was 1, 2, 3. And we got the belts. There's a picture of me on my Instagram just holding the belt and crying. And it was just such a surreal thing that we were sitting here at one of the biggest promotions that we could
For women.
right for women and that we have ever been on, and they've put their titles on us. And the crowd was all for it. There's
They loved it.
streamers being thrown into the ring. It was
I
crazy.
know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh man, I was watching the match over. I was like, there was a point where like, you guys gotta stop throwing the streamers so we can start the match.
Dude.
The match.
When I tell you,
Yep.
some fan tried to hit me with that thing.
Yeah,
They
no,
put
no.
like one that was rolled up, and they
Yeah.
tucked the piece of paper, like the end, inside the roll, so it
Uh-huh.
wouldn't unravel when they threw it. And they tried to hit me, and it goes flying past my face. And that's the moment when you saw me get really upset. That I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo!" And I almost turned around and was like, "Who wants it? Who wants it?" Because I swear to God, I will throw it at your face. I don't care. We used to play softball too, so like I got a cannon. Like I'm not just throwing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just like, eh. Like I'm throwing
heat,
it.
she said.
I was
I'm
mad,
throwing heat
y'all.
at your face.
Oh, she's gonna beam somebody. Oh yeah.
I was like, y'all better be glad that didn't hit me, because I'd be out of this ring so quick.
Yeah,
we were boom, throw the match out. No match tonight.
we were
Yeah.
told after that match to no sell the streamers.
They're like, don't ever sell the streamers. We're like, okay.
They're like, no sell the streamers. Just
You
no
guys
sell the
definitely
streamers.
no sold the streamers though. You guys like wanted no parts. You're like, what the fuck is with the streamers?
Exactly.
Right.
I was like, why? Like
That's
I was
just
cool.
so
I
that's
did like
just
the first
that's like
couple,
a big
but then
New
there was a
Japan
point.
thing too. That's like a very big thing in Japan as well. It's like for the wrestler that you favor, you're throwing in the streamers.
You're throwing the
to show your love and
streamers,
support
right?
for them. So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you see them too. They kick it and they're like, come on, like get out of here.
Come on, man.
Especially,
I just want to wrestle.
Well, it's always been like a dream of mine. I don't know about you, Charlotte, but it's always been a dream of mine, especially from seeing like ROH, where they just throw the streamers in. And I will say ROH was our very first time ever being at an indie show backstage. Mandy Leon, the first time that we ever came to the Power Factory. We came for a student showcase that they had. And we met Mandy Leon, and she brought us backstage at Ring of Honor the very next day. And it was kind of our first time ever being at an actual indie show.
And I don't really consider Ring of Honor an indie show. Like I'll say that was like that was our first big promotion that we got to go to
that's
backstage
my
where they
company.
were.
I love Ring of Honor. I'm
I
so
was
gonna
excited
say,
by
like-
what's happening right now with it. It's like,
Yep.
I mean, I'm so happy Jay Lethal like signed to AEW. Good for him. Like you've been great, but like to me, it's just like Honor Club. Honor is forever. You know, like
Yeah.
that's where everybody came from. Like if you're watching WWE right now, especially like a lot of these names, and you know, not to discredit what they're doing in WWE currently, because a lot of these people had either had one of the best runs for WWE, you know, or built themselves into that. But Adam Cole, you know, Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, who's Seth Rollins, other, you know, Kevin Owen, Kevin Steen, like Chris Hero, other people, like I could run, and God knows, Parrish knows, I love the Briscoes. Like there's just so many amazing things that have come from Ring of Honor that is in these major companies, and I'm so happy for it. Plus, we all know, and I've said this 1,000 times, the just what Ring of Honor contributed to the birth of AEW with All In. It's just, you know, it can never be rewritten. I'm heartbroken by what's happening for them, but I wish every single person who wrestles for Ring of Honor a furiously great career.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Me too.
They're all great over there. Like we got the honor to meet, like at that specific show, we got an honor to meet Jeff Cobb. I didn't know not to mark out backstage. I'm like over here like, oh my God, Jeff Cobb.
Marked out.
My dad loves you.
I was
Like,
gonna say, we definitely were marked
Can I
at
get a
this point in
suplex
time.
shirt?
We definitely were marked at this point in time and definitely marked out. So
I will say this. Me and Robyn love Camille. Love Camille.
What? Really?
He was yes.
yeah, the
We
first
both
time I
loved her.
ever looked at her, I walked up to her and I said, "You look like a beautiful Amazon woman," and I love it.
And I told her, I walked up to her and said, I want to be you when I grow up. Like I
And her
wasn't
name says it, Brick House.
exactly. And I
Very much.
remember seeing her and I was just like, oh my gosh, like she is essentially what I want to be as a wrestler. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's women like her, Rhea Ripley. Like if you just look at them, at both of those ladies, they're both super big and like so strong. And I'm just like, yes, I want to be that. And I straight up told her, I want to be you when I grow up.
Sorry, I was looking at the comments.
Yeah, sorry. We had a little bot
You
get
right.
through.
Hi,
That's
mind
pretty crazy.
runner.
Look at this. I feel sorry for those blonde force trauma
Force
teachers.
trauma.
They just don't know. Yeah,
They
that
don't.
Okay, but they do. But they do.
I was gonna say, first off, we wrestled them at CCW
and won our belts
again-
against them.
right, and then again they want to come back to Mission Pro for a second round. Like they didn't get enough the first time.
Oh wow, they want to go and
Ooh.
get. They want to
So
get a
they thought-
beat out
so
of
they
two
think
different
that-
companies.
So they
Yep,
think if
two
they could-
different companies
Oh,
for two
man.
different belts.
Oof.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens. You think
Wait a
you
minute.
ladies think
Wait
you're
a
ready to do
minute.
that?
Aren't y'all, Renegade Twins, aren't y'all undefeated in Mission Pro?
Yes, we are. We're undefeated at Mission Pro, I think, and at CCW. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Oof.
Damn.
She said, our O's ain't going. We got two O's, and you can't take
That's
it.
a fact.
Exactly.
Oof. That's why we the
Donuts.
champ, and also
There you
the
go.
Gold Belt champs.
Donuts.
This is champ camp.
Oh, what else did
Donuts.
Mind Runner say? Oh, look at y'all. Time to collect more tag belts. Those Impact Knockout tag titles will look nice on y'all. Ooh.
I was
The
gonna
Impact
get,
Impact titles,
I was
NWA
gonna get
titles.
to that. Right,
I
ladies.
was gonna
Like
say, let's talk about Hex. Let's talk about the inspiration. Let's talk about all of them. Okay.
y'all
we
are on
actually-
a gold rush right now. Yeah. So what are y'all feeling? Like where do y'all feel like the Renegades will end up next?
So this past weekend at WrestleCade, we had the honor to wrestle at WrestleCade, which we never thought in a million years we'd ever be there with all the big names that were there. And we set up our merch table. We look up, Hex, right across from us. Like,
Mm.
now come on. We got our 4 belts. They got their 4 belts, and all of a sudden it's a screaming match. And the security's like running in there thinking
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
fighting. And
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like, hey, man, we're just screaming at each other. I'm telling them, like, we're about to whoop y'all's butt.
I was
Like,
gonna say one of these
And
days.
so y'all ready to hold
Take it
the
all.
fourth belt.
Yep.
Take
We
it
actually
all.
have a video of the entire thing. One of the fans got a video of it. So sooner or later we're gonna drop that, and we're gonna have to at Mickey James and NWA and say we gotta get that going. We gotta get that
Yeah,
going.
you definitely do. Definitely do. I mean, Allison Kay is definitely coming off that loss too recently to Sky Blue for that belt as well. So maybe you guys got the extra juice you need with her taking a few L's recently.
We got it. We got it. We can handle them. We can handle them.
Awesome.
I had to ask
you guys already
Marshawn.
told us you guys are coached by QT Marshall. So when did you guys
Yes.
begin training for pro wrestling?
What was it? Early
we
19?
started training on February 18th, 2019. She's always so shocked when I throw these dates out in podcasts. I'm not sure why.
Because I don't.
And I can
remember.
also remember the date of the very first school show we had. That was January 11th, 2019. I can tell you the date of literally January 12th, 2019. That was that Ring of Honor show at Center
Girl,
State.
you're tripping.
I remember all of these dates, y'all. Like I will never forget when I first started wrestling.
That means it meant something to you.
I love it. You're
Touched
right.
you in such a
You
way
gotta
that
remember
it's
the
something that will
dates.
never be forgettable.
You gotta
And that
remember the
doesn't mean
date.
It wasn't for you. You just must
Right.
operate at a different speed.
I was gonna say, man, Robin's like, I've never been able to. That's another thing about me. I've never been able to remember any dates ever.
And I love
Like,
history. I can
how
remember
every-
anything.
How like everybody has those couples have like your anniversaries. When I'm with somebody, I don't have an anniversary. There's no anniversary. I don't. I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna remember.
Hey, Robin, hey, you just here for the moment, right?
Yeah, I'm just-
Just here for just riding on the
He's like, I'm
moment.
just here
That's
for
it.
the ride, man. I enjoy your time. Thank
I
you.
enjoy the ride. I enjoy the moments. That's it.
Oh,
I
man,
definitely
that is
cannot
funny.
blame you on that one.
That is funny. Oh, we got an angry react. Who react angrily? Who's sad? Who's
Oh.
mad? It's probably one of those blonde
mad?
porch
Who's
comic chicks you were talking about, huh?
Probably.
Oh, we got another question from Mind Runner. What we got is Kat Spencer, the Renegade's enforcer. What we see her in Mrs. Pro.
Oh.
Seriously, we've been seeing you guys
Yeah.
roll around with her. We even saw her do old girl dirty not too long ago in the garage.
Yep.
I couldn't believe they made you guys get your own belts.
That man.
Yo,
Yo,
So that reaction was a legit
crazy.
reaction. My
that
face
shit,
like
that felt so real. I was like, yo,
it was a legit reaction because at one point I looked at her and I said, "Okay, go get my belt." Like it was a joke. Like I was kayfabing it there, and I was like, "Go get our belts. Go get our belts." And the ref just stood there, and he just looked at me, and I was like, "Go get the belts. Why are you just standing here?" So then he gets out of the ring, and he just walks away, and I was like, "Okay."
We're like, dude, definitely did just tell you to go get our belts. I know
guess
they're
we'll-
like 5 feet right there. You could just bring them back,
So
but he never did.
we played that off.
boy, oh boy.
I was like,
But
ooh.
about
no
Kat
respect.
Spencer, yes, at CCW, Kat Spencer is our muscle. She's our enforcer. We have a match this upcoming Saturday.
Yes.
December the 4th at CCW. You can watch it on Title Match Network live and then
Or-
catch the replay later.
Or better yet, just show up in Delaware,
Exactly.
Houston, Delaware.
But if
to
you
be
don't-
exact.
I was gonna say, but if you're not in the area, Title Match is your best shot. But we have a match against Mother Endless, Kayla Sparks, and Gabby. And Mother Endless wants us to let the pit bull off the leash. So
She better choose the words carefully.
Choosing
Be careful what you wish for, boo boo.
I'm saying.
She said, we got the muscle.
Yes,
You
we
want
do.
us to release the muscle, but we got the muscle.
Yep.
We'll let it go when it's ready. I hear that. When it's time to take the other 2 titles and carry around 4, maybe then you let it loose.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. But we do have a 6-man tag this weekend, so y'all check that out. See Kat Spencer do her thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Feel
absolutely.
impressed. I know for that, for sure.
Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about how your favorite male wrestler is Randy Orton. Obviously, we know Roman Reigns. We don't even got to ask the question. We heard the story. We know what's up. Everybody knows what's up. Guys, if you guys are watching, you know what's up. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton. We spoke about that. So let's talk about female wrestler. Who's your favorite female wrestler?
Oh, Robyn just said Sasha Banks.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Robyn
I
answered
was
that
gonna
question.
say, I feel like I don't even have to answer that question.
I feel like I've dropped hints as to who mine is, but I haven't just outright said Rhea
No,
Ripley.
because you said you would mesh 3.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't even pick. There's like 4 women really right
All right,
now that I'm like,
6-0.
I love them all. Oh my God, no, 5. I'm a liar.
Hey,
He's a liar,
I know. I got
Hey, there's
Bianca
not- hey.
Belair.
There's not 2. There's not 3.
There's
There's
nothing
not
wrong with
five.
that.
A handful
There's
of them in your face.
Give me 5,
She's gonna
right?
smack you with them.
I love
What
Rhea
5
Ripley,
wrestlers say to the face?
Charlotte Flair. I love Bianca Belair.
Don't
Shoot,
look at
shoot,
me.
shoot,
Don't
shoot,
look
shoot.
at me. I know.
Let me get them out of my brain. The one Shayna Baszler. I was gonna say the one everybody
Oh,
says they look
yes.
like. And Becky Lynch. Those women right there, like, I will mark out for all the time. Robyn knows.
I was gonna
Charlotte
say-
Flair, not so much. I enjoy her from like a working standpoint. Not so much as a mark. I think she does her job too well. Like, I don't like her. But yeah, if I had to pick some women, it'd be Bianca, Rhea, Becky Lynch, and Shayna Baszler. Those 4 women come on the TV, my eyes are glued.
I was gonna say, I mean, I remember growing up and like, well, not really growing up because we didn't watch wrestling growing up, but when we first started watching wrestling, Charlotte loving Becky Lynch. That was her first love. And I fell in love with Sasha Banks from the get-go. I loved her look, her attitude, her moveset. Like, the fact she comes out there with all this attitude. When I think of a wrestler that I want to be and like a character-wise, I think Sasha Banks.
Becky Lynch for me.
I want to be the shit talker, the snapper, the neck, this is me. You know what I'm saying? The I'm so confident that you can't even step to me kind of deal. And that's who she is, and I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, her thing. She is the boss. She is it. There's nothing past it. I remember when she took her time off, and she was and this is like long ago because I've probably been off of social media outside of the show for quite some time. But I remember she took some time off a few years back. She was doing the Kendrick Lamar "To Pimp a Butterfly" lyrics on all her posts, you know, and then everything was "Thanks, Daddy Vince. Thanks for this, Daddy." You know, oh my God, I was dying. She was just like,
Yep, I remember that.
Oh my God. And from that moment, because I won't lie to you, prior to that, like through everything on NXT and stuff, I thought she was a great wrestler, but like I wasn't her fan. You know, I won't lie. I definitely would not have marked out. I wouldn't even pop. You know what I mean? But after like that whole thing and then like her return, I was like, you know what? I see it. I see what everybody's been trying to convince me of for years. I see what it is now, you know? So she definitely like brought me around and it took a minute. But like I think if she could have got somebody who's as invested in pro wrestling as I am to like come around on their opinion, like the world.
I will say the red-haired Sasha was okay.
Oh, do you prefer red hair over blue hair, Sasha?
No, I want blue-haired Sasha. The blueprint is where it's at. Okay.
Right. Okay.
The blue,
All right.
Holding down the blue brand.
The blueprint.
Yeah,
But I will say that red-haired Sasha, she was really good, but I can totally understand where someone could say, not my shtick. I don't really like it. I can understand. She was very, I don't want to say she lacked confidence because she didn't lack confidence. I don't know what exactly it is. From NXT to Raw or SmackDown, it's like different eras for her. So like NXT, she was a completely different character. She was still herself, but her character was amped up to like 11. And now on like Raw and SmackDown, she's found a way to keep her energy at an 11, but do just enough character that it's not over the top where I don't look at her, I'm thinking, dang, I really just want to punch you in your face right now. You know, and like I feel like there was some things that she did in NXT that made me feel that way.
All that sass she got, oh my God. Sometimes just, she kills it. Honestly, she really does. I'm like sitting here thinking, and obviously you can see I'm like processing in my head. Like, so while I'm processing in my head, we actually do have a great question for you ladies on the
dream match, even if it's in a singles competition.
Oh.
So I will say our dream match as a
to
tag
wrestle
team.
in, or like just if we have to pick 2 wrestlers to be apart, like to wrestle each other, or like a tag team type thing.
How about
That's
we
my
answer
question.
both? How about we answer
Okay.
both?
I'll say,
I will
yeah.
say I watched my dream match happen live NXT house show here in Atlanta. It's actually the show that got us into wrestling. We
is
walked
true.
outside. This guy was like, "Hey, come to my school." Back when the Nightmare Factory was One Fall Power Factory, and that's where we essentially were like, "Oh shoot, this is real. We can actually do this right now." Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I've told you I love these two women.
Yep.
Me and my dad sat there.
Marked out the
We
entire
marked out the
time.
whole time, and I'm sitting there, and it's so hard to watch because I love both of these women. So for me, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley as two other people. If I had to pick, let me think about myself. But
I feel like our tag team
team.
is super easy. It's
Twisted Sisters versus the Twins.
yeah. Anytime we can get that match going, we can do that. We've said this about the third time in 3 interviews. So there's that. Do you need your charger?
No, I think I need my charger. I'm afraid my phone's gonna die.
Wow, turn the camera back on, girl.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I think my phone's gonna die.
Oh no,
That's not
Oh.
good.
that's not at all.
Not
So
good, and you
unprepared.
need it. You need it. You need it after training too. What are we rocking with? What do we think? We got like another 5'10" or
Maybe if you give me 2 seconds, I can go get a charger.
absolutely. Do
Oh,
what you
Okay.
gotta do.
2 seconds.
Okay, sorry,
yeah,
y'all.
no,
I'll be right
yeah,
back.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Robyn, entertain our.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, I can give you my answers while she's gone. I would say that my dream match for me personally, like I've always said, Sasha Banks. I think that we and her could literally go back and forth just because we're so similar in the way that we wrestle and the way that like our character is. I feel like that'd be dope. If it wasn't Sasha Banks though, that's really hard. I would probably say I can't say Thunder because I already wrestled her at AEW, so can't say
Yeah.
Thunder. Let's see. It would probably be Britt Baker. I feel like that would be really fun. It would be a really fun match.
like
It was
that.
tit for tat.
We can't say
Right.
the Britt Baker without saying the DMD.
DMD.
We cannot. We cannot. We got to put the respect on that name too.
Hey man,
Well earned, well
Is anybody
deserved.
up there with Thunder Rosa?
Oh yes,
Gotta
yes she
give it
is.
to the. You gotta give it to the doctor.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Two of the best women's wrestlers. They both belong. They are both in AEW. If you ask me.
They are.
Absolutely.
They're both amazing. They're so amazing, and both of them are amazing people. So it
I
just makes
can
sense.
say, for me right now, just kind of like hearing your guys' answers and hearing you guys' responses, you guys are so like of the new school of wrestling that it's like
Wow.
it's so intriguing to hear. That's why like I love this show because our thing is it's a different perspective, right? So like everybody that comes onto the show really brings a different perspective to what got them here, why they're training for this, who they want to be, why they want to hold the belts that they hold, and what legacy they want to leave behind. So it's so interesting because you're the first out of the people we've spoken to thus far to like you two are the first to be like it's been 2018 like something as soon as that to be like
Right. Very
hey,
recent.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that's
so
another
awesome.
thing that like
That's so awesome because it's like it's so recent.
most people don't think that way.
What?
Well,
Most
because
people,
especially
yeah.
that this generation gets.
Right. Well, most people, especially in wrestling, they expect you to know your history. And Charlotte and I know our history. If you were to ask us questions, I don't know if we could definitely don't quote us on anything that we say. But we try to keep up, you know. But we also, like I said, we started watching wrestling about 5-6 years ago. And honestly, me personally, I'm super like grateful that we didn't start watching wrestling before then because it was hard. Like watching women's wrestling on WWE was
I would have never wrestled had I watched wrestling back then.
no.
I
can say for
I
sure
can
there
Oh,
was a
no.
time-
Goodness.
It's all right. It's all
So
right.
sorry, guys.
You're
It's all
You're
good. It's all
good.
good. I'm actually gonna put up a comment that was addressed to Charlotte's response and to the dream match. But in regards to that, like there was a time where it was watchable. I feel like, with Lita, Trish, Mickey coming in with Mickey coming in with the crazy fan gimmick. Oh my
I think
God.
that flipped the script almost.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
it
my
did.
God.
Very much.
I was like a young boy, you know what I mean? And like seeing that, I was loving it. I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, is this really what it's like? Like, oh my God. And then it really dipped off for quite some time, you know, like after Victoria left and on all those, Mickey, and just kind of like just the way it really went. It went from like more than 10-minute matches. Probably wasn't really. It was probably like the whole segment as a whole, as opposed to the match. So like really noticeably short segments and matches. It was pretty atrocious. And then kind of them where they're back at to now. I mean, obviously, I call WWE the feds when I talk about them on this.
That's okay.
It's okay.
We know the Fed.
We've been known to call them the Fed too. I don't think it's a bad name.
Man.
So the feds, they're so hit or miss with what they're gonna give the women each week, you know. So it's nice to see other promotions like CCW, like Mission Pro, like AEW, like NWA, especially right now, like Impact, like Ring of Honor, just kind of give the women more of a show. You know, like this, like, because honestly, if you guys really train the same, do the same, what's to say your guys' matches are not the same quality? So I love women's wrestling.
If not better.
One of my favorite matches are women's matches. So
if not better.
I was gonna say, I will say one of my favorite things that Thunder does at her shows is we have a men's exhibition match. Most shows have a women's exhibition match. I love that she has like just flipped the script and said, "We are the show, and you guys are the attraction."
Yeah,
and
I love it.
They have their commentators like talk about that too sometimes. Where like Sam Laterna, she said at the last show, she said it's refreshing to see the men have to come out and work like these women have had to work for so many years to make a name for themselves and to try to be over when there's no opportunity for them on a men's card.
I was gonna say, I mean, Mission Pro, like the men's match is pretty competitive.
Oh yeah, JP Harlow.
Well, not even like working in the match, like to wrestle the match, to get to the match. It's so kind of like competitive. It's one person. JP always has the match, which is great because he's always there and he's so good. But that means you now have one spot that like all these men want. And you should want it. It's Mission Pro. But now they have to work and they have to legitimately compete for it. They have training and seminars before every show. So like they come in and they have the men and the women all train together, and then they'll pick from the seminar who's going to work that match.
Damn.
And the fact that like men have to do that and basically try out to be at Mission Pro, it's wild.
This is a funny one. JP Holland's first
I
Taco
heard
Bell.
that Taco Bell is authentic Mexican cuisine.
I know, I'm sorry, but he told me it was authentic. And he also told me
his regular order is 3 soft shell tacos,
just meat and cheese.
So,
oh man,
if you haven't seen JP Harlow's promo, go check it out.
It's so good.
He has a match upcoming against Thunder Rosa and her son.
Cut the check, Taco Bell. Send the check.
Facts.
Send it.
Yes.
Overnight it.
Sponsor JP Harlow at Taco Bell, please.
So good. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say this.
You guys to do
we have another great question. Heel or face?
Heel or face.
Are we heel or face?
No.
What would you prefer?
They have to watch you guys to figure that one out. If you
I was gonna say,
if they're heel or face, you gotta watch them to figure that out.
Well,
do you prefer the heel or do you prefer the face?
Okay.
Well, I am definitely a heel lover. Randy Orton's my favorite. Becky Lynch, you know, I feel like she's a tweener, but she can go both ways. So like heels for me, definitely.
I feel like
heel all the
both
way.
of them are the anti-hero right now more than they. I mean, Randy at one point was the heel. The Legend Killer was the heel. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! I remember when he had like the broken arm and the Survivor Series. They did the promo. He's coming back soon, and then when he came back as the Legend Killer, and like did all that, it was whew.
Oh yeah,
freaking love
great
him.
for business. Great for business. I know you ladies are at training and you guys have more things to get to, so we're kind of gonna get to the last few questions, kind of wrap it up, guys. On the interwebs, everywhere watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Thank you guys so much for your comments. We're just gonna kind of just get to the last 3 questions we have, and then we're gonna let these ladies go about their day. We know they just got some big stuff going on. So since we talked about you guys being a little bit of the new school, right, while you were gone, Charlotte, that's something I was mentioning to Robyn, just how it's like kind of refreshing and different to just hear that you guys are, you know, a fan of the newer school of wrestling, and kind of that's what did it for you to become professional wrestlers. I heard you say SummerSlam either 28. You said 2018, and you had mentioned WrestleMania 18 or 19. But what can you guys say is your favorite pay-per-view of all time that you've watched?
I would say.
It doesn't need to be WWE. It can be anywhere, anything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've never really thought outside of like WWE. I mean,
Yeah.
All Out was a fantastic pay-per-view. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to pick like one pay-per-view that I'm going to watch every single year, it's probably going to be the Royal Rumble.
I really enjoy the Crown Jewel stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I know that's
oh,
what
really? Okay, wow.
Oh.
That's new. This is new. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either.
nobody ever says it. But I think it's so cool that especially like when they had the women's match, like the very first women's match over there.
Very monumental.
That was history being made. And I feel like there is more room for history to be made in those in that specific like pay-per-view, you know what I mean? And I think it's very important. And I love that we can go across the world and show people, hey, we love doing this enough to come over here and say, I don't care if I have to wear a t-shirt that I don't really want to wear because it's not my gimmick. I don't care, like I have to cover up my body, but they love the sport so much that they're like, yes, let's do this. And same with the men. And people over there eat it up. They love it.
It's well, the thing for that, I feel like they have like a super unfair advantage for the fact that they're only going out there once or twice a year, and everybody who's in attendance has obviously, besides like obviously it's that way when you're in a touring show. I'm a stagehand, so I set up the wrestling shows when they come to my area all the time. WWE I did. I've been hurt, so I didn't get to do AEW when they came to the Prudential, but I will get there soon. I know Stan, my boy, is gonna hit me, so thank you. But I definitely think it's so different with that. It's you get such a different aspect of what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Completely. Completely. I'm marking out right now. It's so nuts. It's so nuts. I'm like, dude, it's
very much.
It's just like, as a fan and as somebody who's taken the time to like contribute to it, it's just you guys are doing it in such a different way. And you guys have had like they were doing to the Saudi Arabia thing, which was the point, just in the way that like they're coming now, and like you said, for the love of what you guys are seeing and what you guys are doing, they're willing to change themselves, like their gimmick, as opposed to like, hey, it's a t-shirt. We're still going out there to give them this art, but like the fans, they're there for you guys, you know, like at that point in time. And like that was my point. Like you go anywhere, it's that way. The fans are there for you, but it's not a thing where you're gonna have to black out a section. It's not a thing.
I was gonna say, I don't think
give out the tickets.
Yeah, I also don't think that they have a lot of wrestling out there, like live wrestling. Like it's hard to come by. So when it happens, they're like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at that. Mansoor is like their Undertaker, who's undefeated at Crown Jewel for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it definitely is. But yeah, they definitely, everything's a pop for them. I mean, they made that Goldberg stuff happen that we're all trying to forget about. So, you know, it's definitely.
Cover your eyes on that one. That's probably the only blemish, but. Outside of that, I mean, Crown Jewel, like going to Saudi.
Mind Runner agrees. Royal Rumble is the best, and
Yes,
Epic
it is.
Talk agrees that Randy is a beast.
Look at you, bro.
Hey man, yes he is.
Absolutely. So we got through the pay-per-view. We talked about the dream match. What can you say is your favorite match of all time?
Oh, actually, I will say this. So I can say two matches, and they're both matches that would be nominated for best match of the year. Walter versus Dragunov. That was such a good match. When I watched that match, oh, so good. I was like, dang, Dragunov is getting his butt handed to him. And then I know Robyn's gonna say the same thing.
I was gonna say, don't take my answer.
No. But I will say,
Don't take my answer.
I'm
Let me
not.
say my
I'll
answer.
let you say your answer, but I got something to add on at the end. I got
So
something.
Let me say my
I'll let
answer
her
then
answer first.
I'll let you finish first. Right.
So my favorite match of all time would be Thunder versus Britt.
Sure, yeah.
But the only reason is because it's such a like life-changing thing. It was career changing for not only them but women's wrestling in general.
They
You've
made
never
history.
seen a match like that
First
on TV
unsanctioned,
by
right.
women. You've never
Right.
seen that.
I
Lights
didn't
out,
watch it
unsanctioned.
when it was live. I watched it 2 days after, and everybody had told me, they were like, "You need to watch it. You need to watch it. You need to watch it." And I
You're bugging.
just hadn't gotten around to it. So when someone was like, "You need to watch it," like make it a point to go home and watch it, I was like, okay. So I went and I sat down at home and I watched it by myself.
That's
Like I did
homework
not
right
watch it
there,
with
yeah.
anybody because I knew how everybody was talking about it. I was like, there's a chance that I'm gonna cry. I cried, y'all. I cried. I care about this. Like I care about women's wrestling so much. I care about wrestling, but women's wrestling, I'm so passionate about it, and so is Robyn. That I watched this and I watched these women make history, and it was such a changing moment in the way of women's wrestling.
It raised the bar.
It
It
did.
changed the standard.
And
Very
so
much.
for me, those two women made history. And I went straight to Thunder Rosa the next time I saw her and I said, thank you for that. I said, thank you because you have made history and you have changed the game for women. I said, that is something nobody's ever seen. And I told her, I was like, I cried. I cried like a baby.
It ain't even need to be sanctioned.
It didn't even need to be
It
sanctioned.
ain't even need to be
It didn't even need to be
sanctioned.
sanctioned. That match
Real
was
life.
over before. That match was over
Right.
before it was even announced. That match was,
Right.
you know what I mean? That match was so over before it was even announced. You didn't even need to see the match to know that shit was great.
Oh,
You know
right?
what I mean? You didn't. Just because the names that were mentioned, you know, but Thunder, and I think this has been, and this might be, I feel like the best way to probably end this interview for sure. Thunder, anywhere she has gone, anything she has done, whoever she's worked with, you guys spoke about, she lifts it. She lifts it. She elevates it. She brings it to a whole nother level. And to me, the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa Lights Out Unsanctioned match was the changing of the guard for the AEW Women's Division 2, because it went from, you know, the more Joshi style that they were really showing with Kenny pushing that and stuff with Riho and then Hikaru Shida and everything, just to now you're starting to see, all right, this is we're getting to where we want to go. You know, like you're getting to where we want to go. And like you said, just kind of like for you guys being the double champions, there is, you know, the champs inaugurally for both these places. There's a change in the quality of the match you're going to put out. And you know, like you were saying, like when you were seeing it, oh, it was fake. But now you guys are on the other side. You know the bumps are real. You know the risks are real. You know what's happening. The storytelling. If you missed, if you slipped, if you took an extra second, that, oh my God, everybody's seeing this.
Yeah.
You know, and this is me. This is my livelihood, mine, in the forefront. Like Thunder, really right now to me is the pinnacle for women's wrestling. And that may be a bold statement to make, but
No, sir.
I don't
Absolutely.
think there is a better woman in professional wrestling or for professional wrestling currently than Thunder Rosa. And I'm very happy for you ladies to be able to helm her, you know, with Mission Pro, and to be able to helm CCW. And, you know, I'm looking forward to what it is you ladies put out there in the coming future. You never know. You could be AEW, it could be Impact, it could be the return of Ring of Honor, it could be
I'm calling it right now.
it could be the
AEW.
Feds.
I am usually a Nostradamus when it comes to these things.
MLW with open door.
I very much do believe the Renegade Twins will be the first AEW Women's Tag Team Champions.
Oh wow, we're shooting high.
I like
I-
it. Okay.
I'm calling it right now as I see it.
I was gonna say
We would love that. I
I
mean,
would
that
love
would be
that,
great.
but right now it's looking like TJ all the way. You know what I mean?
Nah, I get that. And you know what? The crazy thing, I was gonna bring up the individual.
Anna.
I was gonna bring up the individual matches you two had with Ty Conti back in like around July and August. And I just want to ask you, like, how, like, I know y'all have both like acknowledged the growth that y'all have had since then, but like, can y'all just elaborate on that if y'all want to in the last few minutes?
I mean, she was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved her.
I loved working her, and like, I wasn't nervous. I was. Yes, we do need that.
We
Yes,
do need that, actually.
But I mean, I
it.
loved it. I
For
wasn't
the belts.
nervous. I was nervous about, like, obviously I was on a platform that was huge, but I mean, I wasn't nervous wrestling her. I had a feeling that she got me. There was one thing that happened in the match where I just didn't understand. I forgot, and she grabbed me and she pulled me in and she goes, "Hey, we're doing this," and I was like, "Okay, I get it." But I mean, I I had a great time. I had so much fun, and it was an honor to even be in the ring with her.
I enjoyed my match. I enjoyed every minute of it. I was nervous, not that she was gonna hurt me or anything like that. I was more nervous about my performance, and of course, I had Thunder Rosa commentating my match in the back of the room. So I'm.
Did you really?
Yes, she was on Spanish commentary, and I was so nervous for her to watch that match. Because I knew she was gonna come back and be very brutally honest with me if it was not great. But as far as Ty Conti goes, I was super excited to work with her. We had Dustin as our agent, and that was awesome too. I think they're both amazing people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What? I can't even say anything better about
Yeah,
Ty
I
Conti.
mean,
she's a great person. She's fun. She's sweet.
Yeah, she was probably one of the easiest women that like I've ever worked with. And
Nyla Rose was pretty good too.
Yeah, Nyla Rose was pretty easy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, Nyla Rose was pretty easy. But I mean, like even Ty, that the night that I wrestled her, she came in like super late. Her flights got messed up, and she came in super late, and she literally showed up to the venue 20 minutes before we went out. And so like she came in, she got her hair and her makeup done in 5-10 minutes. We called the match, and we get out there and we had a good time.
Yikes!
Oh, right off the
It
plane
happens
into
that
the
way, though.
ring.
Right.
Let's go.
Right off the plane, yeah.
Yep, right off the plane. She literally got into the car, drove the hour there, and like our match had been pushed to the end of the card anyway, and like it was up in the air that she was even going to show up at all. So I think we were close to the end of the show, and she shows up like 2 or 3 minutes before the end of the next match.
Mhm.
And I think we had maybe 2 or 3 matches before us, which wasn't a lot of time.
Right.
But it was fun. Like I said, I mean, it was one of the easiest matches I've ever had to call and run, and not an issue at all.
That's it. So before you ladies go, is there anything you want to tell the world and let them know?
Go follow us on social media
And get your merch.
Yes, and also buy your Renegades merch.
Oof,
Yep.
Renegade
Yes,
merch.
you can follow the Renegade Twins on Twitter at renegade _twins, and on Instagram you can follow us at renegade.twins. If you go to either of these pages, you will find our tagged personal pages.
And our email, so you can actually hit us up and get some merch. Get that merch, baby.
Yes.
That merch.
Some merch.
That merch money.
Send some merch, by the way, to the penthouse ladies.
I was gonna say, Mind Runner, I have not forgot about you, bud. I see you out there.
Yep.
I see you wanting your Renegades merch. I got you, buddy.
I think we wrote his stuff down last week. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're sending them out tomorrow. So.
All right, ladies. I hope you guys had a blessed holiday. Thank you guys so much for your time. We're
Thanks
so
for
excited
having
to
us.
see what you guys do in the future, what you guys do in the present. The Renegade Twins are going to be something bigger and better each and every time we see you guys, and we know that. So we just wish you guys be blessed. Thank you guys so much.
Catch them in Houston, Delaware this Saturday night.
There you go.
Do
Houston.
CCW.
Yep.
But,
CCW. Actually, I was gonna say, hold on.
While we're here,
Hey,
While we're here, let's plug these beauties, okay?
Hey,
That's right.
Let's
damn,
plug
those
them.
are some nice belts, Don Sean.
Yo, those are beautiful belts. Those
Right?
are beautiful belts.
God
Look how
almighty.
big those are.
Yeah.
Look how big those are.
I know they're
They're
huge, right?
huge.
Hold on, I'll show it. I'll stand up.
They're so big. They look small. They make
Yikes.
Brian Cage look
So
small.
big.
They make Brian Cage look small. They're so big.
I don't know about that one. I think Brian Cage
Nah, I'm
with
just
these huge
joking,
belts
guys.
look cute, small.
Thank
But-
you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for talking to
Ladies, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you
well,
guys.
we appreciate you guys. Thank you for having us. We enjoyed every moment of it. Sorry about my charger moment again.
No, you're good. Ladies,
All
come
good.
back soon, all right?
Yeah,
Of course.
thank you.
Thank you for having us. We'll
Okay.
see you later.
All right.
All right, guys. That was
Sean.
Robyn and Charlette Renegade, the inaugural Major Pro Wrestling and Capital Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the first ever inaugural female champs. That's something very important to everybody watching, to anybody who watches in the future. They are the
Get
first
yourself.
ever for 2 all-female led promotions. That is a big, big deal.